Good day again, everyone. I want to thank our sponsors for this month anonymously as a Schut for Shlema for Gittel Rivka about Esther Shifra, Shetichya. Thank Don and Robert Honig sponsoring this week. Leila Nishmat, Donna's father Yaakov Couple Moshe and Chayayeta, Olva Shalom, Sandy and Steve Gratko, Leila Nishmat, Steve's parents, Shraga Feibel Ben Sender, and Dina Bat Avraham, Aleim Shalom. Chaino Full, Inishma, their beloved son Hillel, Olva Shalom Ben Yaakov Sheyichya, Julian Richard Ehrlich, Inishmat, Rachel Miriam Bat Yona, Allah Shalom, and Marshall Lee Weinblatt, Inishmat, Gittel Bat Chaim Yisachar, and Chavriva Bat Aaron Yosef, Ubaracha Aleim Shalom. Well, it's timely that I finally got around to finish. I finished the collected writings of Rav Hirsch, Volume 5, this week, which we read in Parshat Yitro, and of course of Matan Torah. And in Rav Hirsch's collected writings, many of which are articles that he published in a periodical that he was writing in the mid 1800s, in this particular one, he but demolishes the volume 4 of History of the Jews, written by Heinrich Graetz. Graetz had been Rav Hirsch's Talmud, even Ben Bayit. Graetz lived with Hirsch for a number of years, but then Graetz became more of a maskil, and in fact, he denied fundamental elements of the Torah, including a major one. And what Rav Hirsch really is concentrating on in this volume 5 of his collected writings, his refutation of Graetz, is Graetz's attitude towards Torah Shabbat Peh, the oral Torah. What Graetz proposed, and this he became part of the school of Zachariah Frankel, which in a general sense was the precursor of conservative Judaism in America. What Graetz proposed was that the halachic system evolved, the Torah Shabbat Peh evolved. And to summarize it, this is in an essay about Zachariah Frankel's Darkei HaMishnah. He maintained, Frankel, that all that God gave to Moshe on Har Sinai was the written law, the 5 books of Moses. Everything beyond that derives from interpretations given to this law by men, and also from human intellectual processes independent of interpretations of the law. A lot of people think that what came to us at Sinai, given to us, we accepted, was the Torah, the written Torah. But the Torah Shabbat Peh, the oral Torah, that developed over time and much later, it didn't the same status or significance as the Torah Shebechtav, even though we see that obviously every mitzvah had Torah Shabbat Peh on it, associated with it. You can't even observe the Torah without knowing the Torah Shabbat Peh. But the conceptual, the philosophical error made is in denying what says the beginning of Pirkei Avot, Moshe kibel Torah misinai, u'mesar Yoshua. Moshe received the Torah at Sinai and transmitted it to Yoshua. But that's not the written Torah, because everybody received the written Torah, not just Moshe and Yoshua. What Moshe kibel misinai was the Torah Shabbat Peh. And in fact, this is the 8th Yesod, the 8th fundamental principle of the Rambam of Torah min Hashemayim, not just the written Torah, but the Rambam says, "V'chein ha'perish ha'mekubal," even the accepted interpretation of the Torah, it was also Mipi Agvura, that also came from Hashem at Sinai. One of the mistakes then, or errors that Graetz made, which is associated to this, is humanizing and personalizing the Torah Shabbat Peh. So he denied that the Midosh HaTorah Nidreshet Bahem, the hermeneutical principles, the principles through which the Torah is expounded, by which we extract from the Torah Shebechtav, the laws of the Torah Shabbat Peh, he said they're a very late origin, late the second Beit HaMikdash era, was we maintain those two are from Sinai, because if we know how to darshan the Torah, that becomes divine. That is divine. God gave us the formula which we would use in order to understand the Torah fully. And like the Rambam says, understand its wonders, its intellectual wonders, and how we receive practical guidance from the Torah. But what Graetz did also, concomitant with this, is he saw the Tanoim he would take a statement of theirs and define their personality accordingly. So Rabbi Eliezer was rigid. Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania, he was flexible, yielding, conciliatory. He epitomized gentleness and moderation, all because of one or two things that he said, but it has nothing to do with reality. And this Rav Hirsch pounds on again and again. The 127 times Rav Hirsch writes, Rabbi Yeshua is in a machlok with another Tana. 61 of those times, Rabbi Yeshua is the one who's machmir, not mekil. 23 of those times, he's even more machmir than Rabbi Eliezer, who's supposed to be the rigid one. None of this has anything to do with anything. Sometimes he even said that Beit Shammai's opinion is the one that seems more logical. But what really Graetz misunderstood was the principle attributed to Rabbi Yeshua of En Gozer Gezerah ala Tzibur, Elam Kain Rovat Tzibur Yecholim Lamod Ba, that we don't impose a decree on the Tzibur unless they can accept it. Well, he wasn't the only one who said it, but what Graetz mistook was that this is to say that, well, if people can't observe the halacha, then we're allowed to change it or make it more flexible or moderate it, without understanding that goes and gzer means a new takana, not an accepted halacha. You can't impose new takanot on the tzibur unless the tzibur can accept it, and that takes time. What an error! But that conceptual error is born of a philosophical error, which is born really of apikarsut, of heresy, of not understanding one of the basic principles of Yadut. The written Torah and the oral Torah were given to us at the same time at Sinai. That's this week's Sedra. Have a good day.